Welcome back. So I've been absolutely dreading doing this video. Got to kind of brace myself for it. What a lot of the subscribers and the viewers don't get to see is the backlash that happens from some of the videos. The emails, the inboxes on social media. Some of you will see the thumbs down on some of the videos. So I have to brace myself sometimes. And this is going to be one of those videos, I'm afraid, where I know that there'll be an element of backlash. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the term gatekeepers and guides. So just the term gatekeeper just feels a little bit dated to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, and it's one of those videos that need covering, isn't it? For me, it just feels like it's like something out of Ghostbusters or something. You know, I am the gatekeeper.
I am Vince Quarto, Keymaster of Gozer. Vulcan Sildro, our Lord of the Cebulia. Are you the gatekeeper?
And it makes me smile when I see this kind of old-fashioned kind of technique that goes there. So let's break this down in the most simplistic way possible to try not to offend too many of you. So the idea of a gatekeeper is someone that lets in and, you know, shows them around and lets them work with you, etc., etc. And it just the term just seems a little bit old-fashioned for me now. The problem that we have is that we have this very human aspect on the spirit team. We give it a physical body, we give it an image. Some people will see it with clothes, the hair, the facial expressions, all of this kind of stuff. And this is solely down to the medium's mind, because there is no body, there is no face, there is no label like we need as a human. We don't have, you know, the name is only for your purpose, and the image is only for your purpose as the instrument. The actual fact of it is it's an energy, it's a consciousness that has no body, that has no label, that has no, you know, has no restriction. You place those restrictions on that. Now, I understand why mediums do that. You know, you want to feel safe because we've had 170 years of being told that, you know, it's not safe to work with the spirit world, and there's negative spirits or bad spirits or evil spirits, and you need to protect yourself. So I understand why that would happen. We need this avatar of an Indian man or a lady of some sort, you know. And we give it this label and we give it a name, and we start to develop the relationship. So that's really not an issue. I totally get it. I totally get why people have been told, and therefore they look for these things. But you have to appreciate that you will also stand there and say, the spirit world protects me, the spirit world look after me, that I build this relationship up, and they stop me from doing bad things or making mistakes. I asked my team or my guide or my gatekeeper for advice, and they gave me this advice. And so the philosophy immediately starts to contradict itself. Anyone that's very sharp or has any kind of understanding would maybe challenge a teacher in this aspect, because they're saying one thing and then contradicting on the next with the philosophy that they are putting forward to said class or said student. So if you can lose the idea that they need a physical body or a label of some sort, and have the knowledge that you are a working signal, and that you say what you experience through this sensory experience that they bring forward, and you don't clutter your mind with an idea of, are you there? You know, let me feel you, let me see you. You just have a knowledge that they're there, then that leaves a larger portion of that mind space that you offer to the spirit world to communicate the actual story that they want. Some people will only listen to a guide, so maybe there's a communicator there that is a mum. Let's take a nice simple example, and you have the mum's son in front of you, and you're doing a one-to-one. Some mediums won't talk directly to the mum. They will go via their gatekeeper, their guide, in the aspect to get the communication across. And so this means it has to go through another filter. So mum then has to give the avatar of the gatekeeper, or speak to the gatekeeper for some of your philosophy. Then the gatekeeper or the guide then has to give you the information before you speak it. So you've added an entire process there. You will be the same student or developing medium that will come to me and say, I don't know why it's so diluted. I don't know why I can't get the clear message, or why I can't deliver it so freely. And yet you will add like a diversion in the way of communication. Lose the idea of the body, lose the idea of a title or a label, and just communicate with the spirit world to the loved one that's sitting in front of you. And there will be an element of freedom. It will be so much quicker, it will be so much cleaner, that you'll think, well, that was too easy. That can't be right. I must be doing something wrong, because that just comes so free. And really, that's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve that, but your safety blanket, your need is to have a gatekeeper or a guide present within that communication. If they're intelligent, surely they'll be there and they'll instruct and describe how the instrument needs to be used from the spirit world point of view. And surely you trust that, because that's what everyone says. I trust my team. I would do anything for the spirit world. I would do absolutely anything. But I need to have them here. I need to feel that. Is you not doing absolutely anything for the spirit world? That's a restriction that you are placing there. So I like to kind of view it as like a pie chart. And let's say a quarter of that pie chart is occupied with living, like you're breathing, you're functioning, your organs are doing the job that they need to be doing. That is already a quarter of the space that you are occupying without the spirit world even being present. Now, let's say you've got your fears and your insecurities and all of that kind of stuff. That's going to be a variable, but some of us are more hung up on our insecurities than other people. So that's going to be a large chunk of that pie. And then you've got, are you demonstrating? Are you doing it to an audience or your classroom or wherever? And so you need an aspect of showmanship in there. How am I going to present this? Is my voice loud enough? Have I said that clearly? An element of analysing. So that's another chunk of that pie chart taken up. And for every time you add a thought or a process or a sensory experience to that pie chart, you are removing that element for the spirit world to use. And so what we're trying to do is hand over as much as possible. And while we search for the man or the woman in the spirit world that we consider our gatekeeper or our guide, that is a process that you are taking up. If you can just hand over, move your mind to the spirit world and start expressing the idea that is forming in your mind, you will find that freedom. You will find that it's more in depth. You'll find it's more enjoyable for yourself, and you're not beating yourself up after every class or every demonstration. So again, I know it's not the longest video. I'm missing the outside now. I don't mind doing them indoors because I've got all the equipment and it's warm, but I do like the outside. I do like walking about and doing it that way. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments, obviously. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified of all upcoming videos. And I'll see you all in the next one.